I might move on now, and I spoke last night about the hypocrisy of the feminist movement in the aftermath of that New York Times investigation into sexual violence perpetrated by Hamas on October 7. In Australia, we've seen high-profile feminists like Clementine Ford suddenly change their positions on rape complaints and due process. It appears only, though, when it comes to Jewish victims. Nicole, the double standards of these people don't really come as a surprise, do they?
No, not at all, Caroline. And anyone who took the time to educate themselves on the atrocities inflicted by Hamas, and a lot of this information was available pretty quickly after October 7 happened, condemned what happened immediately, and especially when it came to women, but not just women, children, elderly people, innocent civilians. I mean, it is just disgraceful and disgusting that there are so many people that had to be presented with this level of truly horrific detail in order to believe Israel and Jewish people as to what exactly happened and what Hamas inflicted on the Israelis on the 7th of October. So I hope everyone has a long memory about particularly these feminists who refused to accept the earlier reports. I'm glad to see people are now somewhat accepting them, but it shouldn't have taken this. It just should not have taken this. It's really, really disappointing.
Yeah, look, there are some that are accepting it, but still finding ways to justify it and contextualize it, Sophie, I guess. And it wasn't just the New York Times piece. There was also a piece in the Wall Street Journal around the end of December too, looking into doing their own investigative work on this. I mean, do you think that the media will ever be able to convince some of these people that Jewish women were violently attacked and raped?
Well, Caroline, what I find interesting about this is so many of these leftist feminists seem to have a view on this, probably know little about what actually unfolded, and seem to be ramping up their social media and going on the attack when they really have not a lot of idea of what is going on. So I'm not sure that the media is going to convince them to change their minds, nor should the media be convincing people. They should be giving them the facts and letting them make up their own minds. But these leftist feminists tend to only back people who have the same views of them and certain types of women. And that to me is incredibly concerning. Selective feminism. If they're going to back feminism, isn't it about supporting all women, not just certain types of women?
You'd think it would be, but apparently not, especially when it comes to Israeli or Jewish women. Look, let's move on to another hot topic today. The ACT Human Rights Commission has called for teenagers to be allowed access to voluntary assisted dying, arguing that capping the scheme at the age of 18 infringes on young people's right to receive healthcare without discrimination. Louise, this seems like pretty dangerous territory.
It's extremely dangerous territory. It's a very fraught topic anyway, assisted dying. I think to then sort of remove the protection of people under the age of 18 who, of course, may be terminally ill or in palliative care, to remove that protection is insane, really. It's just, I find, look, you could be in a situation with a teenager who's in palliative care and wanting to end their lives. That's very harrowing to see. And in that situation, you can think, well, I want to do anything I can to relieve their pain. But assisted suicide is not the answer. And are they mature enough to make that sort of, cognizant decision to end their lives? It's just so open to exploitation and pressure from people who have a vested interest. It just, honestly, it made my blood run cold when I saw this today.